Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I am going to be doing a live cook along with you today. You're welcome to cook at home with me, especially if you're watching the replay. This is something really fun to do with the kids. So hello if you're watching the replay. And I'm going to be cooking 4 things today. We have just been on an amazing adventure around Tasmania for the last 3.5 months. So I've come back to a very empty freezer, and yeah, I love my freezer being stocked, especially for school lunches, because I can just grab things out and chuck them in the lunchbox. Makes life a whole lot easier. So the things that I am going to be cooking along with you today are savoury muffins. I'm going to make these gluten-free, and they're from our lunchbox cookbook. We are also going to be making some minestrone soup. So that is again from our lunchbox cookbook. My kids love this minestrone soup, and I have these really great thermoses from Seed and Sprout, and they keep the food warm right up to lunchtime. So my kids quite often take hot food for lunch, which they actually have all this week. So it's a nice healthy way to get some good things into them. The other thing from our first book, Everyday Additive-Free, there's over 160 recipes in here. It's massive, this book. We're going to make some chocolate coconut muffins and some and a muesli bar, like a chocolate muesli bar slice. It's called the chocolate oat slice in here. So say hello. Now we've got a few of you watching. Give me an emoji. Say hello. You are a little away from me. I can see some of your comments. My eyesight isn't too bad. So let me know that you can see and hear me okay in the comments. And keep this interactive. Keep it fun. And let's do it. We've got a lot to get through. So I'm just going to get started straight away. The first thing that we are going to make... Hello. The first thing we are going to make is the chocolate oat slice, because I need to brown off. I need to bake the oats a little bit. Oh good, you can see and hear me okay, excellent. So you can use quinoa flakes in this if you are gluten-free. So whack your oven on. You're going to pop your oven on to about 180 degrees, and I've got my nice hot cacao here, and we'll bake these oats off for just a few minutes to start with. Now I've got some things out, and then I have other things that are not out, so we'll just be walking around the kitchen today. What book is it in? You've got all my books. Excellent. This one's in the pink one, Everyday Additive-Free, in our very first cookbook. And it's on page 282. So I'm just getting a set of scales out. I'm going to get a bowl out. I of course have my trusty TM31. She's an ancient thing now. I have a TM6 coming, which is very exciting. So I get that in the next couple of weeks. I'll just get a bowl out and weigh. I mean, I could put the bowl on top of here and use the scales, of course, as well. So we want about 110 grams of oats, and as I said, just bake these off in the oven. This is optional, but it does give it a much nicer flavor when you do bake it off. And as I said, if you are gluten-free, then use quinoa flakes instead. So whack that into the oven for just a few minutes. We'll give about 5 minutes. I'm going to be using my Thermomix today because it's much quicker, but if you don't have a Thermomix, don't stress. All of our books also have traditional method in there as well. So I'll run through the traditional method with you at the same time that I use my Thermi as well. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to melt the butter, coconut oil, golden syrup and chopped chips. So I've got some chopped chips here. If you can get chopped chips from your health food store, you'll probably find them a little bit healthier. I'll keep going and then I'll talk about additives as I go as well. So during this live, hopefully I can give you lots of hints and tips when you go shopping next time too. So butter, coconut oil, golden syrup, and chopped chips. So we want to melt this down. Of course, if you don't have a thermi, use a pot and melt it. We've got 40 grams of butter. You'll find during this live that I am a complete scatterbrain. I will start on one topic and finish definitely on another topic. So bear with me there. And you will also find that I'm the messiest cook in the world, and you can have a laugh at how messy I am as well. All right, so 40 grams of butter. But that's why you all love me, because I am such a scatterbrain. So I know what I'm talking about. You just might not. All right, 40 grams of butter, 50 grams of coconut oil. If you don't like the flavor of coconut oil, you get refined coconut oil, and then you won't have the taste of coconut. If you can't use coconut oil, then just sorry about that. Add an extra 50 grams of butter, and you should be all fine. So 40 grams of butter, 50 grams coconut oil, 40 grams of golden syrup. There we go. You could use rice malt syrup if you want to make it a little bit healthier. And then 50 grams of chopped chips. You could use chocolate melts as well. So 50 grams of them. All right, we'll melt this down. It says in here 3 minutes, 60 degrees. 3 minutes, 60 degrees, speed 1 will do. That said speed 2, 1 or 2, doesn't matter, just melt it. Grab out a tray now, and we'll line this with baking paper. And just so my baking paper doesn't slide around, I'll just put a bit of a swipe of butter in the bottom just to help that baking paper stick. And with your baking paper, make sure you get the eco-friendly one. You don't want the white one. The white one is often dyed and bleached white, and it's not very good for your body. So make sure you get one that is brown so that it's not bleached, and also get one that's compostable as well. So you want one that's going to be nice and eco-friendly for the environment. And these I just get from Coles or Woolworths, which is great. School. Fingers crossed they call their dad, but it was a no number. I can't see a number come up, so fingers crossed it's okay. I might have to answer it if they ring back again. All right, so we'll put that in there. They're all melting down, and then it is just a matter of popping everything else into your bowl or your pot once that has melted, and mix it all through. So keep an eye on those oats. They should be okay at the moment. My oven was off, so it started from a cold oven, so it'll be fine. So we want to get some vanilla paste out. I just got some Coles vanilla paste here. You want your slivered almonds. Now, of course, kids, oh, now they are trying Shane. And I've got Shane's other phone. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pop you on hold. Oh, what am I going to do? I have a feeling it's the kids' school. They've hung up now. I'll see if they call back, and then I will definitely answer it if they call back. Mother of the year. Oh, now I'm worried. I might have to, help me. What do I do? I might have to hang up. I might hang up Facebook and give them, let me hang up. Let me call them back, and then, I'll just keep going. It'll be okay. I'll hang up if they call back. All right, so we want desiccated coconut out, slivered almonds, desiccated coconut, slivered almonds. I wish they had a number, because I'm standing here going, well, I can't call them back because it was like a no number that was ringing me. So I actually don't know who it was. Anyway, I will answer it next time. I will definitely answer it next time. Okay, desiccated coconut, slivered almonds. I want some pumpkin seeds, which I have here. Get organic pumpkin seeds if you can. There's such a difference between the size of them, the texture of them, the quality of them. And sunflower wants it. Grab your oats out of the oven or quinoa flakes. They will be done. Keep the oven on because we're going to need it to bake some things. And pop it all in here. We want about 100 grams of almonds. I'm not actually going to use almonds because I want the kids to be able to take this to school. I am going to use buckwheat. So buckwheat kernels, they're such a lovely crunch. They're really delicious. So I'm going to pop 100 grams of buckwheat in instead of the almonds. And the book actually tells you to do this as well. So all the hints and tips are in the book too. So 100 grams. 100 grams. Then we've got 20 grams of coconut. Oh, now you can't hear me because of the phone ringing. Arrgh. All right, Instagram, I'm going to hang up on you. Come over to Facebook and come and check me out over here. It's because the phone rang, that's why. Come over to Facebook. Okay, 20 grams. 20 grams of coconut. 20 grams. We've got 30 grams of pumpkin seeds or pepita seeds. And then we've got the same of sunflower, so about 30 grams as well. Just put all of them in. And then just stir it up. So if you've got a thermi, stir it on reverse so the blades don't chop it all. And you're done. We're almost done for recipe 1. So much cheaper. Oh, I didn't put any vanilla in. A little squirt of vanilla. So much cheaper than store-bought chocolate muesli bars. Also, way less additives. You will find so many emulsifiers, sulfites are often found in muesli bars. You will also find natural flavors in muesli bars and also flavors. And that's the same with the chocolate too, actually. I started talking about the chocolate before. So chopped chips, you'll often find emulsifiers and that word flavor in there. Flavor could be the vanilla. It probably is maybe the vanilla, but it'll probably be vanillin, and there's a big difference, especially the Easter eggs coming up too. You'll find a lot of Easter eggs will have vanillin in it, and vanillin is your fake synthetic vanilla. So in goes this. This is so delicious, this slice. What wouldn't be with that amount of chocolate in there? I haven't made this for ages and ages. So we'll spread that out. Now, do we bake it? No, we just press it down and let it sit in the fridge. Hopefully those on Instagram have come over to Facebook and watching me over there. Sorry about all the mishap with phone calls, guys, but real life, can't do much about it when you're on live. Alright, that goes in. I'm going to pop a few more chopped chips on the top, just mostly for decoration, really. Can you still see and hear me okay over on Facebook? What brand chopped chips did you use? The best ones to get are from a health food store, and I know that's a bit of a pain for some of you, or online. Try and get chopped chips without that word flavour. I did stock up a lot on health foods. I went to the health food store and refilled all of my jars over the weekend, so try and do that. But Pana Organic, you can find in the supermarket. They come in like little kind of squares. You could just chop it all up. If you can get Lindt chocolate or Black and Gold organic chocolate, just chop it all up. They're probably your best bet. So that's going to go in the fridge now and set. And slice one is done. Now I'm not even going to wash this bowl. I am just going to make the muffins. There's a couple more oats in there, so I'll just try and scrape them out. Just a couple there and pop them in the bin. But yeah, all right, we're going to get onto the oats. So the chocolate coconut muffins. All right, so that is on page 269. 269, everyday additive free. Hey Shane, I can hear him coming in. Can you just come here please, darling? What we want to get out is 130 grams of butter. You can grab your phone because I had to turn. Hi everyone. Hello. Look how tall he is. Comes down next to me. He's so tall. Aww. You can take your phone because maybe the school was trying to call because they called me 3 times and then they called you once, which then shut off Instagram and no one could hear anything or anything. So can you just try and call the school? Yep. See if it was them? Thanks. So we've got 130 grams of butter. We want 2 eggs. We want about 200 grams of milk. Ugh, I don't have a lot of milk here. Luckily I've got some long life in the cupboard. Your vanilla. That's there. We want Rapadura sugar, self-raising flour, coconut flour, cacao powder, baking powder. Okay, so I'm going to take some of these back because I don't need these anymore. So self-raising flour, Rapadura, cacao powder. Cacao, self-raising, what did I say? Rapadura sugar. Rapadura sugar is your probably healthiest type of sugar. It's unrefined, it hasn't been processed to what you might find raw sugar is, or white sugar, or caster sugar. They all kind of go down in health benefits as they get more and more processed. So this is about as pure as you can get from the cane itself, and it's got a caramel kind of taste to it, kind of similar to brown sugar, but a little bit not as caramelly is how I'm going to explain it. You can get it from the supermarket. It's very expensive from the supermarket, where it's quite cheap from your bulk bin health food stores like Source, or your local ones, whatever you might have for you. You can definitely get it online in bulk as well. Okie dokie, let's do this. So you want to put your butter in a pot or Thermomix and melt it. You could melt it in the microwave if you want to do that. And you want 130 grams. I'll use this one up. So 130 grams. What are you guys up to today? Who's watching me with the kids? Who's at work watching me? 130 grams. Oh, nearly on, 120. Who's in ISO? Not very well. Hopefully you're all going okay. 130 grams, and we will melt that down. So to melt is roughly about 60 degrees. Just pop it on for a couple of minutes, speed 1, and just kind of melt it. So if you have got a thermi, just play around with it, and don't be too dead set on all the steps. Then all you have to do after that once your butter is melted, mix everything in a bowl or thermi, and then pop it into your muffin tins. So while that's melting, I'm going to get out my muffin tray, which I think is down here. No, down here. And my patty cases. And we'll set all this up. So good to chat with you guys. I feel like I haven't done a Facebook Live for a really long time. And a kind of cooking thing for a really long time too. I feel a little rusty. A little out of sorts. Oh, you've got the younger one home. Not well. Not good. Kind of all hoping we'd be all over and done with by now. You're watching me instead of doing housework. Oh, these cases are just Coles ones. The ones that I really like are the brand If You Care, because I mean these are bright white as well, probably bleached maybe. I mean, who knows? Probably. Where the If You Care ones are brown and not bleached and very eco-friendly. So these are just the Coles ones though. Okay, don't need to move that. Alright, let's add everything else. So we'll add in our sugar. So we want about 120 grams of sugar. We want 120 grams of self-raising flour. If you wanted to make these gluten-free, I am pretty sure that gluten-free self-raising flour does work really well. So 120 grams. We want 50 grams of coconut flour. Coconut flour is quite hard to cook with. It's quite dry, and it does make your cooking go very dry and dense very quickly. So just be careful when you're cooking with it, and if you are cooking with coconut flour, don't think you can just chuck more in and it'll be fine. Do follow the recipe when it comes to coconut flour. And then you want about 20 grams of cacao powder. So cacao powder is a lot more whole food than cocoa powder. It's much closer to the cacao bean than what your cocoa is. Cocoa is quite processed, where your cacao powder isn't as processed, so it's a bit better for you. All of my jars, because I get asked that a lot, all of my jars are just from Kmart and Target, so nowhere fancy. All right. The other thing that I want is some baking powder. I need to pop in a teaspoon of baking powder, and then we'll mix it all up. Which is why I turned it up. I wondered why it was so dry. Alright, I want 200 grams of milk as well. But again, if you're missing the recipes, just they're all in our books. So if I go too fast for you, just grab the book out, cook along. So 200. Oh, look at that. 200 in there. Excellent. Give it another go. little bit. Okay, it's good now. And then pop them in your patty cases, and we're nearly 2 recipes down. So it says I don't have time to cook. One thing that we definitely have tried to do is make our recipes quick and easy. Now if you were to buy whole food organic coconut muffins from the shops, you would pay probably $6 a muffin, especially from a cafe, where this whole batch would have cost just nothing. Such a great recipe to do with the kids, get them using some new ingredients, talk to them about using like nice healthy ingredients. So I'd love to know, if you do have our books, what one of your favourite recipes are, one that is a staple in your house and that you cook quite often. Yeah, let me know in the comments, and if I miss it while I'm cooking along here, I will go back through all of your comments and check them all out after the live is done. I think next up what we'll do is start the minestrone soup and get that happening, and then we will wash this jug up as well because I want it for the savoury muffins, and then we'll be done. Delicious. So I'll chuck that in there because I need to wash that up for the muffins. Now I'll pop some chopped chips on top of this. I pop them away. Let me go get them back out. I'll put some chopped chips on top, and then in the oven they go. I do try my hardest to clean up as I go, but did I put 2 eggs in? I don't think I did. I can't see any eggshells. Did I not put the 2 eggs in? I have a feeling I didn't put the eggs in. Oh well, too late now. Let's see how they go. Wouldn't it be funny if they worked and that they were perfect? I think what will happen is they'll be maybe a little bit dense because eggs, you know, tend to rise a little bit. No, I didn't. Oh crap. All right, let's see how we go, hey? This could be a flop. Let's see how we go. See, I got all flustered about the phone call. All right. Well, the mixture looked good, raw, but I don't think we'll get a nice fluffy rice. But anyway, I could be wrong. Let's see how we go. All right, in they go. So we want to cook them for about 18 minutes. So I've got the timer on there. All right. Let's start this minestrone soup. We want to have some veggies. And I'm just going to wipe the bench up here, just over here. Wipe this bench. Actually, I'm just going to wash my thermi jug as well. So what do you want to know? What can I talk about? It is good to be home. It was an amazing trip. For those that have just tuned in, we have just travelled Tassie for 3.5 months, and although we live in Hobart, and people would laugh when you go, oh my gosh, you're travelling Tassie for 3.5 months, you can get round from one end to the other in 6 hours. We still didn't see like half of it, and it was amazing. It was very testing being in a small van with 4 very big personalities, but it was amazing at the same time, and I do feel incredibly grateful that that we got to do it. So Tracy and Craig are still away. We came back a little bit early for some personal reasons, and yeah, they're still away, but to be honest, I'm actually really glad to be home. made me appreciate home even more, that's for sure. And if we were to ever do a long trip, like around Australia, and you know, we were to go for maybe a year, then a lot of things would definitely change. We learnt a lot. So my biggest advice, if you're planning a big trip, go away for a smaller trip and work a few things out before you go on a big long haul trip. It was actually a lot harder to eat as additive free as we do than I thought it would be. I didn't think it would be as hard to eat really clean while away. And although we did, you know, we did quite well, especially by the end, we noticed just more and more packet foods were coming into the van, and then we just noticed it through our health and, you know, behavior and just the way we were feeling as well. So yeah, it was a bit harder. There was definitely not a lot of big chain supermarkets where we were going, and although IGAs have really great actually additive free products, it was also a lot of kind of just having to find what we could find as well, and that was a lot harder. So what we got here for the minestrone soup was 2 potatoes, a Swede, a couple of carrots. I will need some corn, which is in the freezer. We are going to need some tin tomatoes, cannellini beans, tin cannellini beans, tomato paste, pasta. Definitely use gluten-free pasta if you are gluten-free. And I don't know what else. I'll have to get the recipe out. Done. Chuck this in the compost. Let me go do that. Actually, I'll take the ends off before I do that. Does anyone else like swede? Like, give me a love heart emoji if you like swede, or give me like a little sad face if you don't. Because I think it's one of those veggies that either you like or you really, really hate. And I actually really like it. Okay. In the compost, it is gone. My now calc. I love her. Good. I like it. I like sweet. All right. So, what is it? Minestrone soup. It's in our lunchbox book, and it's on page 99. So on a big pot, I will get a big pot out of here. So quite a big pot. Probably don't need this big, but it's what I've got. And then we want to fry off an onion and some garlic and just brown that off until it's wilted down a little bit. And then basically we're going to add in all the other veggies and your tomatoes and tomato paste. So I'll just quickly dice up some garlic that we have here. I'll move that so you can see what I'm doing. And I need to get an onion out as well. I don't have any brown onions at the moment, so I'm going to use a red onion, which I think will actually be really delicious in it. I made spag bowl the other night with a red onion. I've got a heap of red onions I need to use up. It was really delicious. Like, I could actually taste the difference just from an onion, which was quite weird, but it was really nice. Oh, I didn't chop the little end off that one. Alright, here we go. And let me get the onion out. And we'll fry this off. Now while that's frying, going, I will chop the veggies as well and keep going. Has anyone made this before? Do you think that your kids would eat it? Because honestly, I will tell you the truth. When we thought about this recipe for the lunchbox book, I was like, oh, would kids really eat that? And I made it, and on it, like, my kids hoovered it down, especially my daughter. My daughter does like it more than my son because Jake's not a huge fan of beans, so he was a little bit annoyed that there was beans in there. But yeah, Eva loved it. She loved it. In goes the onion. Just roughly, it gets so cooked down that you won't even know that it's in there. So that'll do. Same with the garlic. Dice it just the best. If you've got a clean thermi, do it in that. It'll take you 2 seconds rather than 2 minutes. Chop her up. That'll do. That'll do. Alright, we'll get this on in a bit of oil. I'll put a little bit of oil in. Get this cooking. Actually, so that'll cook there. I'll pop, as I said, a little bit of oil in. Oh, that made a mess. I told you I was a messy cook. Did you see it? Just spurted everywhere. Well, I didn't actually. Maybe a little bit there. Okay, cook that. Now, while that is going, I will just dice these veggies. So just dice them into the chunks that you want to eat, really. They do cook down a little bit, but not a huge amount. So don't really chop them bigger than, you know, bite size and how big you want them. And again, if you wanted to, you could definitely do this in your thermi as well. It just won't be chopped into squares. It'll be more very roughly diced. Do that. Now I'm going to chuck this in at the same time over here with the onion and just start wilting down the Swede as well. That. Now, potato. So sorry, I asked you before, do you think your kids would eat this? I can look up now that I'm right. So yeah, pop in the comments like if you think your kids would eat this or not, and then maybe like do what I did and make it and just see and be surprised, because I really didn't think that mine would, but anyway, they did. They loved it. We might actually have this for dinner rather than keep it for lunches. Oh, that's stuck. I noticed, yeah, like I've been, well, not noticed yesterday, but I've noticed for a little while now, like my kids eat a lot of carbs. And yeah, try it, Kylie. Eat a lot of carbs and not a lot of protein. And so I really do want to try and get a bit more protein into their lunch boxes, especially. Just keeps them fuller for longer. Carbohydrates just burn through your body just so quickly, and your protein will keep you sustained and keep that brain ticking along without the big carb high, and then you come back down just like a sugar high. And I did a poll on Instagram yesterday asking like if your kids' lunchboxes are quite carbohydrate dense rather than protein. And I think it was something like 99 or 98% of you said yes, like I really struggle as well. So I'm going to make it a bit of a mission to really try and amp up some protein. I'm going to, this weekend, try and make some gelatin gummies. Gelatin is a great source of protein. And I also am going to just try and add in, the only collagen I have at the moment is a muscle build repair one for my training, and I don't really want the kids eating that because that's not the type of collagen they need. But I thought this weekend I might try and get from Whole Food Place some kid-friendly collagens because it's tasteless. Like I'm going to be able to pop a spoon into some yogurt or milk in their breakfast or a hot chocolate or whatever it might be, and you know that's a good sort of protein hit too. So in goes the veggies. Let me double check. So I've popped in the brown onion, garlic, the carrots, potatoes. I also pinched from my mum's garden this morning. They're away in their caravan at the moment. So I went down and raided her veggie garden and I found some parsley. So I thought, oh, that would be nice. So I'm going to pop some parsley in because I'm going to pop some parsley in this, but I'm also going to pop some parsley in the savoury muffins as well in a minute. So I will chop that up nice and fine. This is also saying a big handful of fresh green beans, and lucky I got some of them from Mum's garden this morning. So thanks Mum and Dad. Look at the size of these snow peas from their garden. Huge. Like they're almost as long as my hand. Oh, I'll have them. Thanks very much. The beans are humongous as well. So these are the beans I stole. I mean, you know, it's given. Check the size of it. It's like as long as my head. They are massive. See, they needed picking. They are home in a couple of weeks. But I did take a big photo and went, look what I got. And sent it to Mum this morning. It's great. I don't have to do any work. I can just rock up and pick them. I love it when they go away because I just raid their garden and don't feel guilty about it. I think we're all going to have to start planting veggies, guys. I think that food is about to go even more expensive. It's expensive enough as it is, but my prediction is that food is about to get very, very expensive, especially with the fuel prices. It's just going to increase everything. So I don't want to scare you, but if I was you, I would be planting a couple of things. Alright, so I'm just going to pop these into bite-sized pieces and chuck them in as well. Just thinking about the muffins, I'm like, it seems like a long 18 minutes, but they're going okay with no eggs. Hopefully they're alright. Alright, in goes the beans. And we're going to pop in 2 tin tomatoes. So 2 tins of tomatoes and a can of cannellini beans. Chuck them in. And can of beans. Now I will drain these. Strain them out. I'll give it a little wash. leave them there. Now what I've got over here is I've got some beautiful chicken broth, which is super high in protein and really good quality fats and gelatin and just all over bone gut health. So I've got 2 chicken broths here that I've pulled out from the freezer. They're in. This is a super healthy meal. And also about 1.5 litres of water as well. So basically with your water, you just want enough for it to soak up the pasta and the veggies. So about 1.5 litres of water. Now this is a pot tap. I don't know if you can see it over there, but it is the best thing that I've put in. It's awesome. But I'm just going to pop in up to maybe what I think is about 1.5 litres. I want to obviously leave enough room for my pasta to go in. But that's looking good. The only thing I think I've forgotten is some corn and some salt and pepper. And we're good. Another recipe done. Let me pop the corn in. I have a lot of corn left. That'll do. Oh, muffins are ready. Now, I don't think I'm going to pop the beans in yet because they'll go to mush. Yeah, you only want to add the beans right at the end. I'm coming. Oh, they don't look too bad. They look good. They look good. Hopefully they don't flop. Let's see what happens. We'll just leave them there. We'll leave them there and hope for the best and see what happens with no eggs. Alright, that is done. You can add the salt and pepper to the soup at the end. But we're done. Another recipe almost bites the dust. I can't do anything with that soup until it all cooks down and boils. So, let's get on to the last one that we're going to make. Are you enjoying this? I feel like, I hope that I'm not being boring and that you are enjoying it and getting some inspiration. This one is from our lunchbox book and it is on page 55 and we're going to make these delicious savoury muffins. Oh, thanks guys for the little emojis, appreciate that. I need my little trusty thermi here. I actually have a 5. I do have a TM5 and I have obviously the 31. I've just bought a 6. Now my 5 does not work at the moment. There's something wrong with the little sensor in the, like it tells me that the bowl's not inserted properly, but it is. And it's happened before and it has broke a couple of times. Now I'm going to sell one of these thermies because I do not need 3. That is very extravagant. But I'm actually contemplating keeping my 31. So what, like for you guys that are at home and you have a 5 and a 31, what do you think I should keep? I'm really thinking I should keep the 31. Even though it's old, I know that it doesn't break. And I know that it's really, really, really sturdy because it's got no, like it's not computerized. So it just should keep going. What do you reckon? Keep the old one? Keep the 5. I think I'm going to keep the 31. My trusty old 31. It's what I started with. Yeah, 31. You're a 31 lover as well. Yeah. Keep the 31. Good. I'm glad I'm not alone here. I'm not a sales rep for Thermomix. I don't sell them. I don't have anything to do with them actually, apart from use them. We've probably sold thousands of them, but yeah, of course we don't get anything for that, which is fine, but so I can talk about them the way I want to talk about them. But yeah, I'm thinking the 31 as well. All right, savoury muffins. Let's do it. I want a carrot I want some baby spinach. Get the carrot out. Only little carrots. Might put 2 in. Nice little organic carrots from the farmer's market. I want milk, but I definitely don't have enough, so I'm going to have to use Long Life, which is left over from the caravan. I want some corn. Hopefully I've got another one in here. Otherwise I'll just use some tin corn, because I've only got a pea and corn combo. I don't have just corn. So I'll use some tin corn, mixed herbs, spinach, carrot and cheese. I'm good to go. Is anyone cooking along with me at home? Let me know. Alright, I'll pop this away, I'll get the flour out. Now I am going to use gluten-free self-raising flour for this, because I want some of these for lunch and I'm gluten-free, so thank you, I will have it. I'm looking forward to buying second-hand 31 to take away when we go on holidays. Perfect. Are you adding bacon? Yes, I've got some ham in the fridge. I'll get that out as well. I just thought of that in my brain before I read it. So carrot, I don't even need to peel them. They're organic. What am I doing? What am I doing? Alright. So, what I want to do is I am going to definitely chop everything in this thermi here to save me some time. I'm pretty much just going to add in the carrot, spinach, just a big handful. It does make these muffins go a little bit green, but I don't care. If that's a thing for you, just dice the spinach by hand and mix it through at the end, and then your whole mixture won't be green, but I don't care. I'm going to pop in the cheese as well, so 150 grams of cheese. Make sure you get block cheese rather than pre-grated cheese. Block cheese is additive-free, where pre-grated cheese. Ever wondered what the white coating on your cheese is, on your pre-grated cheese? You know, that stuff that comes off onto your fingers? That's actually anti-caking agent. So the reason that's there is to stop it from sticking together and from going moldy. But it's definitely an ingredient that's just your body has to process. Like, it's not the worst additive in the world, but it's something that you don't need to be eating. Just get some block cheese and grate it. Okay, so we want 150 grams of cheese. That'll do, 170. And then we're going to chop it. But let me grab some ham out. Now the ham that I have, I got Shane to get me some ham this morning because we just haven't had time to go to we've got an abattoir near us in a few suburbs away that sells nitrate-free bacon and ham, and I haven't had time to go there. They're called box bacon. So he got me the natural ham from the supermarket. Actually, I'll chop this one by hand because it's quite thin, which is that Desorganers, I don't know how to pronounce it, brand. It's like D''O something. All right, chop her up, speed 5 if you want to chop. Grate it by hand. Okay, so you just want like about 4 slices of bacon or ham. So I'm just kind of going to wing it and just chuck in a handful. That'll do. Handful will do. I would have to say that savoury muffins and savoury things like this are my favourite type of food. I am so excited for lunch. These are so bloody delicious. They're so good. They freeze well, they're good for lunch as cold, they're really delicious warm. Yeah. Bring it on. Okay, stop talking and hurry up. We want about 280 grams of self-raising flour, and as I said, I'm using gluten-free because I want these for lunch. So 280 grams. Did anyone say they are cooking it along at home? Did anyone say that? That would be really cool if you are, especially, you know, you could be watching the replay, so feel free to say, yes, I'm watching the replay, I'm cooking. All right, 280 grams of flour, and we want about 240 grams of milk. Any type of milk will work. You could use rice milk, almond milk, whatever. Don't like long life milk because it's heated to a really high temperature. It loses a lot of nutritional benefits. But when we were in the caravan traveling around, and you know, we would go out bush and not have a lot of supermarkets and things around, I had to use long life. So that's why I've got some long life left over. Corn. I'll use tin corn because I don't have any frozen corn left, so whatever you've got will do. Could even leave it out, it wouldn't matter. I find corn really nice in these though. Do about 60 grams of corn. And then some mixed herbs. Oh, my muffins haven't flopped too much. They actually look alright. Mixed herbs is empty, but I know Shane got some. Yes, he did. He got some this morning for me because I knew I was out. With love. I want just about a tablespoon of mixed herbs. And eggs. Please don't forget the eggs this time. We need 2 eggs. Two eggs. Don't forget the eggs. You want 2. Alright. Let's do it. Mix it up. Mix it on reverse because of that corn in there and ham. You don't want them turning to mush. About speed 4. Or mix it in a bowl and mix it together. Now I need to clean up here a little bit because I'm going to grab out these muffins. I need the muffin tray. Every time I hear like the word muffin, I think of like Shrek. We've been watching Shrek lately and he's like, the muffin man. Sorry about me. I did say at the start of this video, I do lose the plot really easily. And I get sidetracked very easily. Alright, let's get these muffins out. I'll pop them here so you can have a look. Don't need that anymore. I do need that. Let me wipe this bench down so you can see these chocolate muffins. How good's that? 4 things in an hour. Done. All freezer friendly, all lunchbox friendly, gluten-free friendly. You could use any type of milk. You could use a dairy-free cheese, although they're quite hard to find additive-free. The best dairy-free cheese that I've found is a oat milk based cheese. Where's my oven trays? Okay, I'll show you these muffins. They're not too bad. I'll split one open in a minute and we'll check them out. Now I'm going to grease this tin. Can you see them? Look, they're not too bad. No egg muffins. There you go. no eggs. If you have an allergy to eggs, just leave them out. You'll be fine. Okay, so what I want is some butter. And what I find best is to flour it as well. So does anyone else do this? So butter. It's melting because the tray's still warm. So we want butter, and then grab your flour. Oh, that needs help. And then with your flour, just sprinkle a little bit in each one. It can be a little bit messy, so I do it over the sink. A little bit in each one. This is good for a cake tin or anything. This is how Nan used to do it before baking paper was invented. Put it over your sink and then just tap it and coat it all with flour. Then if there's any excess in there, just tip it out. There we go. Got it nicely coated, and hopefully it will be non-stick. You can see that this mixture has gone green because of the spinach. So as I said before, if you don't like, if your kids will be like, oh, they're green, just mix the spinach through at the end, and then your whole mixture won't go green then. These will rise a bit because of the self-raising flour. And you can play around with your veggies as well. You could leave the spinach out if you wanted to, for example. You could put more corn in. You could put some capsicum sliced through it. You could put sun-dried tomatoes in. You could leave the bacon out. I'm pretty sure almost every single one of our recipes are just so versatile, and that you can just make them to suit you and your family. So in they go. Try and fill 12 up. I am overfilling them a little bit, but they'll be alright. They'll just rise up over the top. I think we're good. Well, I can see my soup starting to boil over there, which is good. I will let that boil until all of those veggies are cooked, which will probably take 15-20 minutes. And then what I'll do is I will then add the pasta in and cook that as per packet instructions. So normally, cook these on 180. So normally pasta takes about 12 minutes. So I'll put the pasta in there, cook it for 12 minutes. I'll add the beans. The beans will go in for a couple of minutes, and then your soup will be done. So that's, I won't hang around for that because that's probably 15 minutes away. I should have made that first so you could see the finished product. But I hope that gave you a little bit of inspiration. I hope that if you don't have our cookbooks, go and check them out. They're on our website. We actually have 3 now. So we have a party one too. We have our party edition as well. It's my daughter's 12th. Can you believe she's 12? In a couple of weeks, so I will be going to the party book and getting some ideas out of here. And thanks for cooking along with me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging around, asking your questions. I will go through the questions. Hard for me to look at them while I'm cooking, but I'll go through them later on after I clean up and everything and answer. And I hope you're well. I hope you're traveling okay where you are. And yeah, any questions, just reach out. Did any of your muesli bars come out really crunchy? Oh, let's slice it, actually. Let's do the muesli bar before I I was going to say knock off, before I close it down. I'll grab a chopping board out. Hopefully it's set. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, that's good. I feel like I'm getting in more and more of a mess. That's good. My yummy muesli bar. Delish. Can I open up a muffin? Alright. That is so good. And before you all realise that I've just eaten oats, it's all good. I seem to be okay with oats, which is random. Okay. So good with the buckwheat. It's almost like it's got rice bubbles in there. So good. Okay. And it's so good with the coconut oil. Yum, yum, yum. You know what would be really good? If you popped like this tiny bit of salt, you have like salted chocolate. That is delicious. I'm acting like it's the first time I've ever eaten it, but I have not eaten that, I reckon, for 2 years. Okay, muffin. Let's see how we go. To be honest, I got those oats from my Whole Foods store last weekend. But just get organic oats from the supermarket. They're so cheap. Let's see how we go here. Eggless muffins. Okay. They're actually awesome. Where are you? They're actually awesome. I can't take a bite out of that because that's not gluten-free flour. But they have worked out excellent. So, eggs are going to hold it together. It is probably a bit more, like it's a bit crumbly for my liking. Eggs would have held it together, so keep the eggs in there. But it's nice to know that if you are egg intolerant, if you made up a chia egg mix, that would have binded that together, so they would be fine egg free with probably an egg replacement through them. All right, I'm going to go now. Have I showed you everything? Is there anything I've forgotten? Show the muffins, show the thing. They're going to take probably, the muffins will take another 15 or so minutes. Thanks for watching, guys. Hanging out with me. All right, I'll talk to you soon. See you, everyone. Bye. No worries, Kylie. See ya.